Zach Edey,
Yes.
though, to me is interesting because, again, he's fantastic. I don't know that he's an NBA player. This is going to be an interesting matchup, though, because if I'm Arizona, I am at least starting out the game and I'm playing single coverage with Umar Ballo, leader of men, on him, mainly because Umar Ballo is super strong. And listen, I don't want to have to leave the Mike Lukes of the world wide open for threes if I don't have to. But I would 1000% see what Umar Ballo can do before I start bringing help. What say you?
Yeah, because I think they get their offense from teams doubling Edey, and so you don't have to break guys down off the dribble if you get a double. It's all of a sudden now you're playing, 4-on-3 or 5-on-4 after the double, and he can. And the problem is he can pass out of doubles.
Right.
Like a lot of guys can't pass out of doubles, and he can easily. And by the way, they also shoot like top 15 in the country from three, so
Right.
they can make shots. It's one thing they do really well, and I'm sort of with you, like, and I would not want the other guys on that team to get going
Right.
because Zach's going to get some points. He's going to get points because of his size. And to your point too, it's not like Arizona has a 6'8" center.
Right.
They've got
He's
a
a big
6'11"
dude.
center, and they've got a 7'2" center that's damn near as tall as Edey.
Right.
So I'm interested to see Krivas guard him as well,
Right.
and go 1-on-1 with him because they got. You look at it, they got 10 fouls right there to throw at Zach.
And I think situationally, you can come with the double, and I think it's going to be a hard double where you bring Keyshot in, and
Yep.
but like you said, you got to be careful with Edey because Edey can pass the ball. This isn't the guy that this isn't. With all due respect, this isn't Dusan Ristic, where you get the ball and guess what? It is not going out.
Not
I
coming
think
back.
yeah, I would like to see. There's very few players that are equipped to be able to, I think match up with Zach Edey. I would like to see what both of those players can do before I start going into that. Conversely, or go ahead, Matt. Then you. All right.
Yeah, no, and I would make him shoot over the top of both of those guys.
Right.
Maybe you front it situationally or three-quarter front, but when he gets it, play behind him, see him make shots over the top of those two.
Right. And by the way, lots of comments in here, but this one really, you guys are all fantastic. This Matt Muehlebach looks like a Pete Williams from a previous PHNX show. This is Matt Muehlebach. I told you he's a chameleon. He just kind of can do whatever he needs to at any point. One thing about Tommy Lloyd that reminds me a lot of Lute Olson is that if he had better players than you or a better team, he was going to look to overwhelm you. He was going to try to extend the defense. He was going to take some chances because I got better players than you and I can make up that on the back end. Tommy Lloyd, I think, has done a lot of that. And this year, especially because he's got more athleticism on the perimeter, he's got more guards. Athletically, what are you looking for from Arizona in this game? Because athletically, there's a clear disparity between Arizona and Purdue.
Yeah, and I think that's the ability of the Arizona guards to get out and pressure guys, like you said, that Lute would pressure guys. I think what Tommy wants to do is pressure the ball and really play hard on the ball, and try and create havoc. And they've done that. And I think both starting guards can do it. Then you bring the crazy part is their starting guards are really good defensively, but their two guys off the bench probably are better.
Right.
When you bring in KJ Lewis and Jaden Bradley, they're just unbelievably athletic and quick and strong. I mean, I seriously think KJ Lewis could be the biggest NBA sort of potential guy on this team.
He is.
He's like a Lou Dort,
Yeah.
from
I like that.
ASU
Lou
player.
Dort. Look at Matt. I like that
little
one.
Lou Dort comp.
Yeah, I like the Lou Dort comp.
But I'll tell you, here's the thing with Tommy that's so cool is I think people realize this, but the guy is unbelievably progressive, and he's constantly like thinking about ways to do stuff differently and better. And he's not at all like, sitting back saying, this is how I run my program and this is my system and we're going to play like that. Think about how much he's changed because of his personnel. And I would say this too, like Tommy Lloyd, he like, if you have the meter of obsessed with basketball and you're a normal person, like normally as you get more obsessed with basketball or whatever and you become crazy, your normalcy kind of goes the other way.
Right.
He somehow has the greatest combination of he's obsessed with winning with his team, with doing everything he can to make Arizona better. Yet at the same time, he's a super normal guy. Like that's hard to do.
And you know, in the game of life, and I always say this about you, he just kind of gets it. I think there's way
Yeah,
too many coaches that just don't really understand how blessed they are to be in the positions they are.
yeah,
And they don't enjoy, you know, they just have to grind, 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 grind. You can tell that Tommy Lloyd enjoys what he's doing. I also like how Tommy Lloyd works the officials. Getting
yeah,
there early to some games, he talks with the officials before games. Now, again, I don't know exactly what he's saying, but it looks like I can imagine him before the Purdue game going up and saying, "Hey, how you guys doing? You know, how's the son and daughter? What's the wife up to?" Stuff like
right.
that. That goes a long way because if, at the end of the day, officials are still humans as well. That is a big part of the game. I love watching how he works the officials in a good way.
Yeah, and that leaves it open for him to get on him
Yeah,
when he has to. And when he
right,
has to, they know like, oh, I may have blown that call.
right, exactly. Now, from a what is from Arizona's perspective, then do you what is the how do you take advantage then? Let's say of a guy like a Keyshawn Johnson down low, or because Arizona's got a lot of athleticism, you got a lot of size as well. How do you take advantage of that besides just just shooting passing lanes and stuff?
You mean on offense when they're
Or
on offense?
defense, excuse me,
Or
my
when they're
bad.
on defense?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think again, if you can pressure people, like I said before, if you make them feel you, right?
yeah,
And I think that the beauty of it is that, aside from Umar, leader of men, not being able to guard pick and roll probably as good as everyone else. Everyone on that Arizona team is really like they're pretty versatile. They can guard 1 through 4. I would
can
almost say
switch a
every
lot.
guy. They switch a ton. They can switch a ton. Um, but I think I look at it the other way too. Like I think they can run on Purdue, and I think they can bring Zach Edey out off the ball,
Right.
and especially depending on what kind of lineup they have, and bring him out, away from the a lane, and I think use their quickness against Purdue.